kids start to losing it. Talk about life and all the confusion. Minds in motion. Minds in motion. Talk about relationships. I'm talking Joe podcast. Minds in motion. Talk about relationships. Help your emotions. Behavior management when your kids start to losing it. Talk about life and all the confusion. Minds in motion. Minds in motion. Talk about relationships. Emotion. Minds in motion. Talk about relationships.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Minds in Motion with me, your host, Jewel. Tonight is the last episode of this season. We had a long but short season, I think. The show started in January, and I think so. Starting in the winter and ending in the summer is good, and having a little break for a bit is good for the soul, for the heart, for the mind, and the body. So I'm taking a hiatus for about 2 or 3 months. I'm not sure exactly when I'm going to start back the new season, maybe late fall. And so you'll see me back with other guests as well. I want to say thank you from the top for all the listening audience who are tuning in tonight on TDN Radio Caribbean and also GTM Radio. And we have the listeners on SBE Radio as well. Thank you so much. Also, all the viewers that are tuning in on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Instagram. Thank you so much for tuning in. Feel free to leave your questions, leave your comments, and I will share them as the show goes on. Just gonna adjust. There we go. So tonight I have a wonderful guest for you. All my guests are wonderful. Just letting you know that. But this one is extra special because she's a doctor. She's going to be talking about things that are going to affect most people, most women, most people, I should say, in general, because male and female will be affected by what it is that we're going to talk about tonight. And that topic is menopause and perimenopause. Tonight, I welcome Dr. Catherine Neri to our show. Catherine, welcome, Dr. Catherine, to our show, Minds in Motion. And as I said, we're going to be talking about perimenopause. So Dr. Catherine is a naturopathic doctor, and I wanted her to come on so she can tell us all about like natural ways of managing our symptoms. So welcome to Minds in Motion.
Thank you for having me. So happy to be here.
Thank you. All right. It's going to adjust this for a second. Okay, there we go. So before we get into the topic for tonight, I just wanted to have you just introduce yourself, the practice that you're in, and maybe just tell us a little bit about how you got into the practice and why.
That's like a little long story. We'll work to make that short. So I've been in practice about 11 or 12 years now. I practice in Ontario, Canada, mostly out of Toronto, but I have a virtual practice. So anyone in Ontario I can work with. I focus my practice on women's health, and that mainly stems from my own personal lifelong journey of all the things women's health that I personally have gone through. And in understanding what was impactful and helpful for me, and realizing, wow, there is no real avenue. There still isn't. I'm 12 years into the game, and there still isn't a clear path for women to really understand what's going on with their bodies, and how to address it, and understanding what isn't normal or shouldn't be accepted as standards for women's health. And so that's what I'm passionate about, is just helping women to understand they have options. They don't have to just resign to the pain, discomfort, the feeling lost in your body, feeling trapped in your body, feeling uncomfortable in your body. I really want women to just be able to have more control, be more educated, and just have more options with regards to their health.
Okay. Thank you for that short introduction. Yeah, it's a long story, but I love it. I love that the fact that you are focused on women's health. And today, I want to focus more on Afro-Caribbean women and the diasporic people about their bodies. And I'm I'm hoping that that's also part of your focus when you're in your practice, that you're focusing on our people as well. Because although our bodies are similar, our DNA is different, our bloodline, like it's different, and think we need different things for our body as well. So um, that's something that I hope we can talk about as well tonight. Um, and the topic of perimenopause. So selfishly, I chose this topic. Selfishly, I chose the topic, and I said, this is a topic that I'd like to know more about, because my body's going through changes and I'm responding to them in the way that I think I need to respond to them. But sometimes I ignore signs. Sometimes I ignore things. And when I ignore things, sometimes it can inflame or get worse, or I just don't know how to manage them. So this is why we have you here, doctor.
Happy to oblige.
Okay. So I'm just going to get right into some questions. Thank you. Hi, Ruth. Hi, Ruth. If you have questions to the viewers, feel free. So sometimes, doctor, we get some viewers that ask questions, and I'm hoping that you would oblige and answer their questions as well. We tend to try to gatekeep with the type of questions that come through. We don't want to have questions that are inappropriate come through. So we do have the producer backstage. He is vetting the comments as they come through. Okay. All right. So the first question I have for you is, how do you define menopause, and why is this transition often described as the hormonal roller coaster compared to relative decline of menopause?
Okay. So perimenopause is that transition time simply from being fertile to being non-fertile. Basically, I describe it to my patients as your ovaries are retiring. But they give advanced notice. They give really advanced notice. And during that transition time, they decide how hard they want to work, right? Like they might be in the early years, they're still keen to show up to work and do their job. And as time progresses, they slack off a little bit. Maybe they don't want to show up this month. Maybe they're angry with management, and they throw tantrums one month. And how responsive the ovaries are plays a huge role in why there can be a roller coaster of symptoms. Mm-hmm. So and I think it's not just one factor, right? I can't just be like, oh, just the ovaries' fault. They don't want to show up to work today. So, there's a relationship between the brain. So the brain is monitoring all things all the time that's going on in the body. and it sends out hormones to stimulate the ovaries, to stimulate the thyroid, to stimulate the adrenal glands, like to say, hey, you need to do your job a little bit better. So the brain is monitoring where our estrogen and progesterone levels are, and its job every month is to stimulate the ovaries to produce estrogen and then ovulate.
Okay.
If the ovaries respond well, there's a very simple pathway. Like the brain's like, okay, great. I send out this hormone. The ovaries responded. We got estrogen. We got ovulation. We had a full cycle. A period happened. Great. But sometimes the ovaries, when they're heading towards retirement, they don't want to show up to work, and then the brain's going to send out more stimulating hormone, and that is going to maybe elicit a little bit of a response. And so you get varying degrees of hormones being released potentially every month.
Okay.
Right? The ovaries respond great. You've got a great cycle. If they don't respond as well, as hard as the brain might be trying to get them to do their job, you might not quite reach the right levels or the optimal levels for a great cycle. And so that is going to leave you with different degrees of symptoms every month.
Okay. I had no clue that it was a brain connection.
Oh, yeah.
I had no clue. Well, I mean, the brain tells the body what to do, but I never really thought of it in that way. No pun intended. I didn't think of it that way, that the brain is sending out these signals. So does that mean that the brain as well is slowing down, or is that something totally different?
No, the interesting part there is that every month for pretty much ever, your brain is still sending out that signal to say, hey, ovaries, like, are you going to show up to work this month? And that's why some women can go months and months and months without a period, and they think, oh, I'm finally almost there, the 11th month, right? And then boom, they get a period because the brain never stops trying. Or even like several years into their cycle and they get a period randomly. You should always check if you have a bleeding. Go see your doctor. And I'll just say, Dr. Nuri said it could just be a random period, but but it is possible because the brain is still trying, and that's why there's a test that we can do to measure your FSH level. That's the stimulating hormone from the brain. And we see that it's really high. And when it's really high, it means the brain's working overtime, and likely you're in perimenopause or menopause. It's not diagnostic. We can't just say for sure, oh, it's reached a certain level, therefore you are. But it is an indicator. It does give an indication.
Great information. Wow. I learned something today. I'm pretty sure I'm going to learn so much more during this episode. Thank you so much. So early signs. Many women in their late 30s to early 40s start noticing subtle shifts, like changes in sleep, mood, or cycle. What are the common or often hidden symptoms that listeners should be paying attention to?
I think some of the most common signs that are super subtle are your change in energy, right? We attribute it with like, oh, I'm just getting old. And it is a change that happens with age, but it is likely related to hormonal changes. So estrogen is a high energy hormone. It does help us with our energy levels. And so as it subtly shifts over the years, you are going to feel that shift with your energy. And that can also come with shifts in like drive and motivation a little bit. And so we think, we need to maybe check our iron or vitamin D, or we just, throw it off as like, oh, I'm just older now. And it is a sign that you're likely in that phase of transition. And then I think a common sign that we see is changes with weight, right? So you feel like nothing.
Oh Lord, Dr. Kathleen, please go there with that conversation. Yes, it's not my fault, everyone. I'm there. Sorry, Dr. Kathleen. Go ahead.
And it's true, right? You feel like I've changed nothing, but the weight is coming on, and
Yeah.
you're starting to see it, show up more around the abdomen, which maybe you hadn't had before. That's a common comment that I hear, like it's just showing up in my stomach, and like I never used to do that.
Mhm.
Estrogen is there uh, helping us to support our metabolism. It helps to distribute weight towards the chest and hips and glutes areas. Um, and so as it shifts down, other things can win the battle of the bulge around the abdomen because of that shift, the lowering levels of estrogen. So it can be a little bit frustrating for women, I think.
Yeah.
And they don't necessarily always, especially if they're in their 30s, they might not think like, oh, is this perimenopause? And a lot of times women don't want to use that word.
Mhm. Mhm.
But there are hormonal shifts that are happening basically from the time you turn 30. Estrogen starts to decline.
Yeah, I started reading about it maybe about 5 years ago because I did notice some changes. And then I was blaming in COVID. COVID, because I mean, it was like a few years, like 2 years.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so COVID happened, but then the weight stayed. So, like, this can't be COVID weight. So, reading upon it, about it, and learning more about it, I'm coming to understand the weight gain is part of the perimenopausal stages, right?
Yeah.
I know we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to say it, but it's something that we need to talk about and be open to hearing and learning more about, right?
Yeah.
Um, you mentioned something, and I was gonna say, I'll remember, but I just found it so interesting that you talked about the weight gain. The estrogen. Is there anything that we can do as women to enhance or take like a supplement for the estrogen to bring back some estrogen?
Uh, so there are things that you can, I would say, more so like include in your diet in terms of like what are called phytoestrogens. And these are nutrients in the plants that have a similar shape to estrogen and therefore can bind to estrogen receptors a little bit and give the action that estrogen would typically have. And so that can help to modulate, is the word, kind of mediate uh, symptoms even that you might experience in perimenopause and kind of mimic estrogen in the body.
Mhm.
Unfortunately, there isn't a supplement that's going to just magically boost your estrogen levels. We're not going back to pre-perimenopause estrogen levels.
Yeah.
Um, of course, there's the option of doing hormone replacement therapy. And even that doesn't bring you to perimenopause estrogen levels. It's just
Mhm.
enough to manage symptoms.
Okay, because I've heard about that. The uh, not surgery. It's not a surgery that you're doing, is it?
No,
It's just like
it's a medication,
hormones.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
you're like taking needles.
So you can take, it's either like oral or they have
Yeah.
topical. There are, uh, different, other, like estrogen options in terms of like a implant or things that,
Okay.
depending on what options for hormone treatment you want to do and your age and stuff,
Mm,
but
yeah. I'll just go through it naturally, sadly. I guess we all have to go through that.
yeah,
All three
we're
of us
all
eventually have
yeah,
to
it
get
comes for
there.
all of us. And how you go through it really does um, depend on how you're taking care of yourself, right? So it doesn't have to be this like torturous thing. Uh,
Mhm.
and I think we're going to talk about what your options are a little bit, but what I like to like share with people is that estrogen does a lot for us in the body. Like basically for women in particular, we're coded in estrogen receptors from, like your hair to your toes pretty much.
Mhm.
Um, and so as it's declining, that's why you can experience all kinds of symptoms, and not everyone's going to experience them the same, but like hair thinning because there's receptors in
Mhm.
follicles. Even your vision changes because there's estrogen receptors in the lens that affect the flexibility of the lens. Um, and so there's such a wide variety of symptoms that you can experience. But when you're a little bit like more aware of like, okay, well, estrogen does this, that, or the other in the body,
Mhm.
then you can take action on things that you can step up for yourself to,
Mhm.
uh, um, to make those changes to kind of counteract the changes that are happening.
Okay. Okay.
It
I
helps.
like that explanation. Thank you. So there's a question or a statement here. I have started to experience hot flashes. What are some tips I can use to cool down?
So there's two things I like to recommend. One is being mindful of your sugar intake, because sometimes spikes in blood sugar levels can cause or trigger hot flashes. Um, and at night, even, um, sometimes sudden drops in your blood sugar can cause hot flashes or night sweats. And so
Mm.
sometimes even having like a little snack of like nuts or seeds, something with some protein to help stabilize blood sugar overnight can help to reduce that. Um, and also, what I think is pretty cool is sage tea. Um,
Mm.
so sage as in the herb, yes, burning and
Sage tea.
whatnot.
I've never didn't know. I guess you can drink anything, but I didn't even think of that as a tea. Sage tea.
Yes,
Okay.
that's really great for helping to reduce hot flashes, both like from happening and like intensity and frequency. That can be really helpful.
Okay. Thank you for that. So there you have it. Ruth, you asked the question. So you can drink some sage tea and monitor your glucose or sugar levels, right? That's two ways. Thank you, doctor. um, Root causes. So from the naturopathic perspective, why do these symptoms manifest so differently in each individual?
Everything's very multifactorial. So, I mean, obviously, there's going to be, genetic variations in how we process things. So, just kind of like putting that aside, I talked about how there's receptors for estrogen everywhere, which is why, some women experience like joint pains, right? Because if you think about a good example is, oh, another example is, I don't know if you've heard this, but I remember it coming up with like athletes, female athletes, at different times of the month, the ligaments are a little bit more flexible or more rigid, and you can
Hmm.
be more prone um, to tearing ligaments, especially I think it was the knee they were talking about for like soccer athletes and even basketball athletes.
Mhm.
When you think about like when a woman gets pregnant, there's like a surge of estrogen at that time, and it does make her a little bit more flexible and makes the ligaments a little bit looser, especially like at the around the hips, so that it
Mhm.
can change shape a little bit, and we can allow birth to happen. And so there's even at that level in the like
Wow.
joints and stuff, there's estrogen receptors and changes that can happen. So that is part of the reason why there's just such a wide variety of symptoms.
Mhm.
Then it'll come down to um, your kind of personal health as well, right? If you're someone that is more inflamed, if you've got a lot of inflammation, then you may have more aches and pains that are going to happen because you're already prone to pain because of the inflammation that you're experiencing.
Okay.
You're someone that is depleted, right? If you're someone that's got like chronic iron deficiencies, vitamin D deficiencies, you're already kind of depleted. Maybe you'll have more challenges with energy, mood, um, uh, managing stress, sleep disturbances. Those things could be a little bit. You might be more prone to
Mhm.
that. Um, when it comes to stress, this is a huge thing. Estrogen does help to manage stress levels in the body, and so
Okay.
women do get to a point where they start to feel like I'm just not handling things like I used to.
Mhm.
And so if you're not someone that's paying attention to what the stressors are in your body, you're ignoring the signs like you were saying, right?
Um,
You will feel that, brain fog potentially more because you're maybe already in a place where your body's not handling stress well, and then we're taking away estrogen, um, or estrogen is declining
mhm.
naturally.
Yeah.
Um, and so that's putting you more, in a place of less resilience. So there are, I would say, factors around like how you're managing your health that play into that. Um,
Mhm.
it's it's there's not just kind of like one thing that's
It's all,
happening.
yeah, yeah.
Everything is connected, and so that can play into the different things that you're experiencing. And that's a lot of what I do when I'm working with women is helping them um, uh, to set a good foundation for their health, um, manage some of these key things like blood sugar regulation, like stress management, um, inflammation, these things that have systemic, that can cause systemic issues in the body, and
Mm,
that makes a big difference in how their perimenopause goes. The symptoms decrease drastically. Um, and oftentimes they don't need to resort to hormone replacement therapy because we've done a lot to help um, them just transition more easily.
naturally, right? Hmm. Okay. In listening to what you're saying, I'm wondering if like people in certain industries, like okay, let me just education, for example, education or healthcare. People in high stress industries present differently based on what you were saying, than someone who had a lower stress job. So, would there, I guess, would you recommend a different regiment for them? Is what you do is you recommend like a regiment or like eating a meal plan, like a different meal plan, or how do you direct your patients when it comes to um, figuring out how to manage their perimenopause symptoms or stages. Does that make sense?
I think so. I think I understood that. So Um, there isn't like a set protocol if that's what you're asking, like, "Oh, you do exactly these things," but I do follow kind of a set process that I'm looking at. So I
Mhm.
do like to see, how your body is handling stress. Are we in a, high cortisol state? Are we in a low cortisol state?
Mhm.
Um, and what are those, stressors that are setting things off? So what we think about stress, oftentimes work comes up. But stress also stems from internal factors. So
Mhm.
if you are not fueling yourself well and your body's not getting the energy it needs, that's going to invoke a stress response because your
Mhm.
body needs to handle it. Anything that goes off, your body is going to need to handle, and that's going to invoke a stress response. If you're deficient, if you're iron deficient, that is going to be a stressor on the body. So we need to also then address any deficiencies that are happening. And so that oftentimes will come with addressing diet, and then it will come with like maybe supplemental um, or supplements that they need to take to get things up to par.
Okay. Thank you for that. Um, holistic management and lifestyle. um, what are the three non-negotiable lifestyle habits that can help stabilize the body during the period of hormonal flux? Three things that you can think of to help stabilize our bodies.
Yeah. So I don't think that I would recommend anything drastically different than for someone that wasn't even that's not perimenopausal. I think that you need to have the foundation of fueling yourself. You need to have the foundation of recovering, and you need to be strengthening the body. So we need to get the right nutrients. We need to get the right amount of calories. Sometimes we ignore hunger because we're working so much, or we think we're doing some diet trend
Yeah,
that's going to help us. And if we're not giving our body what it needs, we're stressing it out, which is a problem.
right.
If we're not recovering, if we're not resting, right, your body's ability to handle stress tomorrow depends on your recovery overnight. And so if we are constantly pushing ourselves, always on the go, always juggling things, maybe it helps us feel productive. Maybe I totally know there are bills to pay. But we can't ignore the fact that we do need to recover. And a week vacation once every year or 2 years is not enough. Um, and so that has to be a part of our lifestyle. And strengthening, one of the things that happens as estrogen declines is that we lose muscle mass. Muscle is very important for our metabolisms. It's important for having us have weight on our bones to support bone density.
Mm-hmm.
It helps with blood sugar regulation, which I've brought up a lot. It is
Yeah,
super
yeah.
important, especially the Afro-Caribbean community, because we tend to have histories of insulin resistance, diabetes, cardiovascular disease, hypertension in our families, um, and the risk of developing that only goes up with perimenopause and menopause because we don't have estrogen to help, or as much estrogen to help us fight um, that metabolic battle. And so, yeah, we need to make sure that we fuel, we recover, and that we strengthen.
Okay. Thank you for that. So I picked up a drink yesterday. I thought it was, I mean, a great drink. But what's your view on electrolytes? Because is that something that our body needs, or it depends on the individual body? What's your take on that?
Yeah, I think that electrolytes are often things that we need. Uh, you know, just sorry, just had this vision of like women perimenopause, the hot flashes and sweating. We're losing electrolytes. We need to replenish them.
Yeah.
um, but also, um, I think sometimes we're like maybe afraid of salt, so we may be undersalting in their food, and you do need salt. It helps with absorption of your water, and so I like to recommend electrolytes for people when they're trying to increase their water absorption or water intake. Sorry,
Okay.
because it helps with water absorption, so you're not just peeing all the time while you're trying to do this thing that's so good for you.
Yeah.
Um, and then you kind of give up on it. So electrolytes really help with that, and they're also really supportive of your adrenal glands, and so your adrenals are where cortisol is made.
Okay.
Um, and do I have time? I'm just going to explain something
Yeah, go
quickly.
ahead. Go ahead, please do.
So one of the things that I find social media has gotten really wrong is, they're talking about stress and they are always talking about high cortisol levels.
Mhm.
And we don't want our cortisol levels to be too high. It has a cycle. It peaks in the morning, it goes down at night so you can fall asleep. It goes up through the night so that you can wake up. So it doesn't just help you handle stress, it also helps you wake up in the morning, helps with alertness. And so if it's high all the time, it's disruptive. But when cortisol is high, it helps you to handle stress. So most of the time, you're going to feel like you can do things. So the person that is uh, saying they've got a million things to do, but they're fine, everything's fine, they've got it, they're fine. The more you say you're fine, the more you're probably stressed. When people stop and start to say, oh, I think I might be stressed, is when they don't feel like they can handle things anymore. That likely is because your cortisol levels have now depleted. So your cortisol levels are low.
Right.
And you can't produce enough, and you might start to feel tired in the morning. It's a struggle to get out of bed. You're feeling exhausted mid-afternoon. You're getting that slump. You fall asleep, but you wake up multiple times at night. These are signs that your body is not capable of handling stress and your cortisol levels are low. And so electrolytes can be really helpful to support your adrenals to produce cortisol levels. And so I do like electrolytes for a variety of reasons.
Okay.
Long answer.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you for explaining that to me, because I was like, yeah, I'm leaning, like I drank it. It's kind of like this, for me, it's a taste, right? But I know it's good for you. So I'm just like, okay, maybe I can get into this electrolyte drink more than drinking just straight water. Because again, because of that, having to go to the washroom so often, I'm like, I did it for a while. It was working, but I think the electrolytes might be the option for me.
Yeah, they add a little flavor, right? We just want to be mindful that your electrolytes are sugar free.
Okay. I wanted to know if that was actual sugar or if it was, or some of them they add sugar.
Yeah.
Okay. So that listening audience, be aware of what the electrolytes has in it. I actually have the bottle right here. That's why I'm mentioning it. So I'm looking at the sodium level, 19, which is a lot. And okay. Sugar is just 31%. So that's a lot of sugar, right?
31%? 31 gram? Or what?
31% of
your
daily of this bottle, which is it says it's a 620. I don't know if you can see it. One of these. Have you seen one of these before? Oh, let's see. I can't see this.
I think maybe I have, but I don't think I'm familiar.
Getting away from the topic. Thank you. So electrolytes are good for you as long as it doesn't have too much sugar, right?
Yes.
I got it. So listen to that, to Dr. Kathleen. She knows what she's talking about. All right. So we're just about to get into talking about stress. We talked about it already, but let's see what this question is, because I did have them prepared. So we did talk about that. We did talk about that already, managing our stress levels. And I do notice that you talked about me a lot when you don't know my lifestyle. You talked about me a lot. Being able, I think I'm able to handle stress. I'm always on the go doing things. And I do go to bed at night and get up often at night because I'm like, why can't I sleep? This is the time for me to rest now. And I can't sleep because my body's always, I think that it's on overdrive and it just wants to keep going. And I can't sleep at night. My brain is always turned on. So I was thinking that was part of perimenopause as well, not being able to sleep. Is that one of the symptoms, sleep deprivation?
Yes, it can be. So another thing that estrogen has an influence on is your body temperature. Mm-hmm. Right? And we know this because of the hot flashes and the night sweats, but it even has a more subtle impact. So it doesn't necessarily have to do with hot flashes or night sweats, but there is a slight increase. Oh my gosh. Can you hear that?
That happened to me one time on my when I was doing this. Don't worry.
Oh my god. Um,
Luckily, it was close to the end of my episode that time when it came on. But is it good now?
yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Sorry. Um, so it has an impact on your temperature, and so at night, naturally, your body tends to cool, and that helps with your ability to sleep. Um, and with lower estrogen levels, that thermostat gets turned up a little bit, and that can
Mm,
have an impact on your sleep quality. And so this happens even for women that aren't perimenopausal, just before your period happens, estrogen levels drop, and women can feel challenges with sleeping at that time as well.
mhm,
It's just
mhm.
amplified because of the bigger difference in estrogen levels in perimenopause, and so you can feel that even more.
Okay. So for people that are listening, I see that there's people on here. If you'd like to leave a comment, or if you'd like to ask the doctor something, feel free. Don't be shy. Um, we can answer your questions, or she can answer your questions. So talking about the cooling effect, I went out and purchased a pillow that had a cooling. I guess I don't know how they developed the material. It has a
Mhm.
cooling effect. So the pillows themselves are great. And I went out and purchased a blanket or a cover that also has a cooling effect. So that can help
Yes,
because
like
I
that.
was constantly like sheets on, sheets off, sheets on, sheets off, sheets on, sheets off.
Mhm.
So I was like, I need to figure this out. So I did a little research and purchased pillows. They've been helping. The pillows have that cooling effect, and the sheet also has the cooling effect. So I don't know, just a little tip. It's not medical, but it
Yeah,
helps.
if it works, use it.
Okay, thank you, Doctor. And so we just talked about sleep disruption. So let me see this. Um, you gave some advice for that, for the sleep, to monitor the sleep, how we can manage that. You talked about the sage, right?
Yeah,
And
so
you
you can
talked.
have a cup of like sage tea before
Mhm.
bed, and that can help reduce, manage like the body temperature, reduce night sweats from happening, which can be really disruptive for women in their sleep quality. Like you really want to um, uh, do as much as you can to help with sleep because it is really valuable. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. And then you mentioned the electrolytes as well. So that's something as a, is it a replacer for water? You're saying? Is that what you said? A replacer
I'd
for
say it's
water?
an enhancer for water. So
Enhancer.
it helps with water absorption in the body. So it's going to make your drinking efforts more efficient.
Okay, there you go. So it's enhancing. So people like myself that don't like to drink water, it's going to help me to want to drink water. I don't sweat much, so I think I need to also drink more electrolytes to release. Is it? I retain water. Is that helping with the retention of water as well?
So when you absorb your water, your body will process it through your kidneys, and it will help eventually for that to be flushed out. So it does have an eventual benefit to releasing the water.
Okay.
Um, and if there are particular things that are like causing inflammation, um, you will want to address that, and that will also help you to release water weight. So when we're inflamed, it does cause us to hold on to a lot of water.
Okay, makes sense.
Yeah.
Um, so support and fueling and transition. How should a woman how should a woman's natural way of shifting during this phase be? Like, so like shifting from perimenopause to, sorry, shifting from not, I guess, what we call it
Pre
perimenopause. premenopause,
Premenopause, yeah.
pre-perimenopause or premenopause. What are some power foods that we can introduce into our diet? Do you have any for,
Yeah.
specifically for, well, into our diet, one, and specifically for brain fog? Because as you can see, I'm having that brain fog right now. What are some things that we can introduce into our body to help us maintain a healthy body?
Okay. I'm not one who's like super into like power foods or superfoods. Um, because I think it really is about getting the right amount of like nutrients for you, and a lot of foods are super beneficial. Uh, so I think the first thing I would say is making sure that you're getting enough protein in your diet. It helps with blood sugar regulation, which I mentioned before can help with those hot flashes. Um, it's going to help you, when you're eating enough calories in your diet, you're balancing your blood sugar, you're going to have the energy that you need, and you really need that support. And having low energy is going to induce brain fog even more and amplify that. So, yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there a food that helps with brain fog specifically?
Or even like vitamins like magnesium, omega-3s, things like that that we can use
Yeah.
to, or herbs to help us regulate our body and have it function as normal as possible.
Yeah. You want to have you want to have, I'm thinking of like of in terms of like a superfood, I would say that like tofu, edamame, like soy rich foods are going to be a great source of protein and calcium. So we want to be supporting cardiovascular health with our calcium. It also supports bone density, and those are two of the most important health conditions that you want to be mitigating when perimenopause or menopause sets in.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of supporting kind of hormone balance, thinking of phytoestrogens, so those are going to be like in your like nuts and seeds. Dark leafy greens are going to be helpful. So your brassica family as well. So cauliflower, broccoli, cabbage. Those foods are really helpful for supporting hormone balance. And in terms of feeling, how you're feeling, I think that things that support stress are going to be super important. So magnesium, as you mentioned, is really helpful. I like to recommend this at night. So taking it before bed. It's not sleep inducing. You can take magnesium any time of day,
Okay.
but magnesium, one of its great properties is that it helps with muscle relaxation.
Okay.
So it's going to help you be more relaxed at night. It helps with sleep quality. That's going to help you be more rejuvenated in the morning, and that's going to help to reduce that brain fog. So as much as we can support recovery and energy, that you're going to feel less of that brain fog.
Okay.
So that does mean making sure that, yeah, we support sleep, but that you fuel yourself. And I can't say this enough, as I know women are so busy. And when you may be putting on weight, you might think I need to eat less. You really actually need to be eating enough.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there's nothing wrong with my weight gain. I'm just perimenopausal.
Yeah,
But I have to also be exercising. So when I'm not, I guess the foods that I am eating, I'm not getting enough protein to balance it out. So um, I think I need to go back to an old diet to introduce a lot of the fruits and vegetables that I'm not intaking right now. So I thank you for that. And so we have a few more minutes with Dr. Catherine. So don't be afraid. I'm going to open the floor for questions. But I want Dr. Kathleen to let us know about your practice at this time. Tell us about your practice, how we can contact you, and just become one of your clients. Are you taking insurance? Is it through what's the payment method? How do we get your service essentially?
So you can find me online, drcatherinenury.com, on Instagram or Facebook at Dr. Catherine Nury. And I am accepting new patients. You have to be a resident of Ontario. Naturopathic medicine is not covered by OHIP in Ontario, but if you have health benefits or it can be an out-of-pocket expense, I do direct billing. Yeah.
Okay. And if someone had become your client, I guess do you do first like an assessment with that patient? I'm calling them clients, patients, and then from there you decide like what would be the best plan or visits going forward?
Yes, so I do start with an assessment where we go through their health concerns, right? So anything that they are concerned about or what they're feeling, we're going to go through and work through. Then I like to make sure that I assess diet, that I'm looking at kind of the day in the life. So we're looking at lifestyle habits. I do a review of systems. We check head to toe. How's vision? How's taste, heart, palpitations? Are you experiencing that? Whatever. So I just go head to toe and make sure there's nothing else that we should be concerned about. And then we put together a plan that looks at, okay, what are the tests or investigations that you should be doing? What are the dietary changes that we should be making? What are the lifestyle changes that we need to introduce? And how are we going to actually put this together and implement it, right, in a way that's actionable, that's not overwhelming, that we have some measured milestones to meet along the way, and to make sure also that we're seeing the improvements in blood work as well.
Okay. I will be calling you myself to become one of your patients. Because I've always been a believer of more natural ways of, or naturopathic ways of treating symptoms. Although I have my medical doctor, I always say, so what's the natural way? What's the natural way of dealing with
conventional system?
No, but I always ask my doctor, I'm like, so what's the natural way of dealing with this? And they don't always want to share, but my particular doctor, she's cool. So she'll say, well, yeah, try this and try that. And I've always been a believer of trying a naturopathic way of healing the body and fueling the body to make it function the way that it should. So I'm recommending a naturopathic doctor, and that's going to be Dr. Catherine. I'm also going to be signing up as a patient, not a client, as well. So
I look forward to working.
We should do the same. I've been looking for one, and I remembered you, and I was like, okay, I'm going to have you on. I'm going to have you talk to the masses and tell them, educate them, and yes. So tell us where we can find you. On Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram, or on my website. So at Dr. Catherine Nury, or www.drcatherinenury.com. You can book if you want to just see if we're a good fit or how I can help. I do free 15-minute consultations by phone, so we can chat and you can decide if you want to work with me. No pressure and no hard feelings. And then, from there, we would decide, how we're going to progress. For some people who want to work with me in person, I do offer limited in-person appointments at the Young Norton Chiropractic Center in North York, Young and Shepherd area. On Saturdays, I have some availability there. So, but primarily my practice is virtual.
Virtual, okay. And that's fine because sometimes people have busy lifestyles anyways.
Yes.
And they're just like, when I'm driving, I'm talking to my doctor. I love it. Um, so there are some comments that are coming through. They're saying thank you. And we show them. I know that the producer's probably off to the other show. Thank you, ladies. Very helpful. And another comment here says, thank you, Dr. Kathleen. Very good information. Lovely. All right.
My pleasure. I'm glad.
Okay, so I'm gonna say thank you, thank you, thank you, and I will be contacting you. I'll be reposting the show right after this show. Um, the episode is going to be live, not live, pre-recorded on YouTube. So if you missed the beginning of the show, please go back and watch. Thank you to the viewers. Thank you so much, Dr. Catherine, for coming on. Is there anything else you want to
It's
say?
over.
Yeah, is there any? It's an hour. An hour goes by so quickly.
I know.
Yeah, it goes by so quickly.
Thank you for having me.
Alrighty. We'll chat. I'm gonna introduce myself to the other show. There's another show that comes on right after this. So I want the viewers to stay on. And Dr. Kathleen, if you want to hear as well, it's called This Week in Interview. And the host of that show is Anthony Drago. He talks a lot about politics as well in the Caribbean, but he has like interesting guests on his show as well. So feel free to stay on or jump on to the network and you can watch his show there. Okay. So Dr. Kathleen, I'm saying good night and I'll be in contact with you.
Sounds good. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
So that was the episode with Dr. Kathleen. It was very informative. Thank you so much. This is my last episode for the season. I want to say thank you so much to all the viewers who watched me and supported me since the beginning of my episodes of Minds in Motion. Next season, I promise to have more educational topics and interviews for you. But I just want to I want to remind you all of the episodes that I've had previous to this. I had my first episode was I forgot her name. I don't know why I forgot her name, but she is the lady who she is the founder of Find Ontario Missing Boys, and we have that epidemic happening right now in Ontario where our boys are going missing in Ontario, and we want to help her find those missing boys. One of the boys was found most recently in Saskatchewan. He's from Brampton, Ontario, was found in Saskatchewan. So we need to support that foundation, Find Ontario Missing Boys, to help bring back our boys. And there are females that are going missing as well. We had another doctor on, Dr. Sebastian was on. She's an MD. And so we want you to go on and also follow her and get in touch with her and become maybe one of her clients or patients. We also had 3 authors, maybe 4 authors on the show. Every week is going to be filled with education, as I told you, for next season. If you have thoughts of who you'd like to see on the show, please drop me a line on Minds in Motion Wellness on Instagram. You can find me also on Minds in Motion Wellness on YouTube, and also, of course, TDN TV. Find me there. Next season, I'm probably going to be starting back my season in the late fall, maybe around September. So tune in. I'm going to be posting episodes as well, things that you missed. So don't think that you're going to miss out because I'll be reposting those for you. All right. Stay on for Anthony Drago's show right after this at 8 p.m. I'm jumping over onto the network right now. Thank you so, so much for supporting me. I feel blessed that you're here with me every week, and I hope you're going to be here with me next season. Take care. Until then, this is Minds in Motion with your host, Jewel. Take care.
I'm talking Jewel Podcast, Minds in Motion. Talk about relationships, help your emotions, behavior management when your kids start to losing it. Talk about life and all the confusion. Minds in motion, minds in motion. Talk about relationships. I'm talking Joe podcast, minds in motion. Talk about relationships, help your emotions, behavior management when your kids start to losing it. Talk about